Good morning. Welcome to this edition of Newsmakers, a production of the Rock County Civics Academy, where we bring in to give you the opportunity to get up close and personal with people in the community, newsmakers, people that add to the quality of life we enjoy so very much here in Rock County. I'm pleased to welcome into our studio today Kris Koch. She is the market manager for the Janesville Farmers Market. Kris, welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
It's great to have you with us. Janesville Farmers Market is kind of an institution, as our farmers markets across the upper Midwest. But the Janesville Farmers Market has been around how many years?
20 years.
20 years this year, which is a high point in history in and of itself, and has grown dramatically.
Oh, yes.
You are located where with the farmers market? And when should I look for you? What time of the week and date and place?
Every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. from May through October. So it's 6 months of the year, usually about 26 Saturdays. And we are at Town Square in downtown Janesville, which flanks both sides of the Rock River from Court Street to Milwaukee Street and a little bit of Dodge.
Okay. So you pick up Festival Street and Water Street.
Yes.
On both sides of the river. Farmers markets are kind of fascinating because depending upon where you go in the state of Wisconsin, you can hit farmers markets that are just an eclectic collection of almost everything other than farm produce, to those that focus on real locally grown farm produce. Where does the Janesville Farmers Market fit into that mix?
Well, we are we are producer-only market, and our vendors come from up to Appleton to over the state line into northern Illinois. And we stretch our distance to about 100 miles just to encompass vendors whom we don't have. So let's say there's not for lack of a better, like somebody who we don't have a butter vendor, but there's one in northern Illinois. We are okay with opening our doors to them because we would love to have butter at the farmers market. Now, that was just an example, but our vendor mix is actually really important. It's an interesting thing. It's something that I really love to kind of play with, and it seems to be really working. I
was going to say, in order to make sure that you've got a product first and foremost in those early weeks in May, which, unless you're looking for radishes and a little bit of lettuce and maybe some onions, the product is in short supply.
Rhubarb.
Rhubarb. What else do you have that draws people into a farmer's market that early in the season, other than anticipation that you may have a surprise for them?
Sure. People come to the farmer's market for food, whether it be food that they can use to make other food or food they can eat right there. So we have a good amount of prepared foods available for people, and there are cool weather crops that everybody can enjoy, peas and spinach and other greens and microgreens. And we do have vendors who are growing bedding plants or vegetable plants and things. So there are things early on in the season. There's something, you can usually find something for everybody.
Okay. Okay. And as the season progresses, the variety of vendors that you have changes and the product line changes. So in the early part of the season, you may have strawberries. They're gone, and that demand is now getting fulfilled with sweet corn.
Right.
And the sweet corn season is towards the end now. And what do you have that's going to draw me on a Saturday morning to downtown Janesville?
Well, then it sort of heads into like fall stuff, pumpkin season, and all of the gourds and squash. And the farmers market, we focus on the experience. I mean, we want people to buy fresh produce. That's a huge part of the market. But we also want to provide a great community experience because, while we are promoting the growth of food, we're also promoting the growth of community. And so that's what I think is key about our market, is we really want people to have a great experience.
That great experience means you have to kind of broaden that product line.
Yes.
And so you do go beyond just the food lines, correct?
That is correct. We do have some crafters, but they are, for the most part, people who are original designs and things that take some skill, like they've been doing it for years. We really try to I have a leather worker who does amazing work. There's an older gentleman, I think he's from Evansville, who does chair caning, which I mean, that's like sort of a lost art.
Oh, amen.
Different things like there's a young couple, he carves wooden spoons. So he was here at the market on August 2nd, carving spoons and hammering stuff. And I love that sort of interactive thing, and I'd love to be able to show people that there is great value in using your hands, not just immediate satisfaction. So that's one of the things about the market that I think is special. You have your food to attract people. It's incredibly important to have farmers. We don't want to have too many people who do the same stuff. So we do have some specialty farmers.
So you do some screening
Yes,
of your
absolutely.
vendors, and you're somewhat selected, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to work with people who really are excited to work with us. And that's been easier and easier the last few years because of how the market has grown. And we're also creating a collaborative culture with our vendors. So it's not just like, you don't just need customers to have a great farmers market. You need great vendors. You need to have a good management system and organization and rules and things, and then you have to have, and then the customers as well. So without the community support, without great vendors, and without some management, you can't have a success, and that's all gelling right now for us.
Well, let's talk about the management structure, because as an organization, you've been in operation for 20 years,
Yes.
and that speaks to the quality of the organization and the structure that's been created. Tell us about what that structure is.
So when it was founded 20 years ago, the majority of the board were vendors. And these were farmers who were super passionate about making sure there was local food available for people. And as the years have gone by, things have changed slightly in that we get better support if we can offer a broader experience for people. Now, this is something I also learned working at Rotary Botanical Gardens, is that if you only focus on the slim percentage of people who are horticulturists, you're wasting all the other people who could come and enjoy the garden. So with the farmers market, everybody eats. They need to eat. Maybe they come for a boba drink or a special coffee or a special kind of donut, but then they see something else. And then, we can kind of like grab them and keep them in the mix. Our current board is made up of both vendors and community members.
Okay.
And we love having our vendors on the board so they can have a real, boots on the ground input and feedback for the market. The one tricky thing is that they have their own small businesses to run, and all the vendors who are on the board are at their booths on Saturdays. So, just working out how to navigate that has been very interesting. Currently, I'm the only staff person, except for I have a couple of high school helpers on Saturday mornings. But we are growing to the point where we definitely need to start looking at growing that.
So, from a legal structure perspective, you're a private not-for-profit?
Yes, private nonprofit. We get no tax dollars from any municipality or anything like that.
So how do you support yourself?
We raise our budget every single year from scratch. It comes from vendor fees, sponsorships. A lot of times we'll get in-kind sponsorships that offset, those expenses from our that side of the budget, and community support, some donations here and there.
If somebody wanted to dig a little deeper, what does it take financially to run a farmer's market for 26 weeks every spring, summer, and into the fall?
Well, what has kind of saved us has been our market management software that we use now. So instead of me having to create 7 different spreadsheets that don't talk to one another, I have it all in one place where I can schedule vendors, they can sign up. We have an interactive vendor map that the public can see online, and we can place everybody. And that is an automatic thing where I'm not having to do every single thing by hand. So taking care of those things and streamlining that process has left time open to really build relationships, not only with potential sponsors, but other community organizations that we feel are, well aligned with the farmers market.
Yeah.
And, we want to support them too.
So your job is a full-time job. I mean, you're managing a market for 6 months of the year, and the other 6 months you're busy doing organizing and raising money and trying to keep the boots available to be in the ground.
Right. Well, we also have the winter market.
Okay.
And that's the other 6 months. It's less frequent. It's only 8 markets over 6 months. And you're right, we do a lot of planning during that time. We do an annual vendor meeting early in the following year. The winter market is held at Uptown Janesville, and it's 2 Saturdays in November, 2 in December, and then 1 in January, February, March, and April.
What are the products you produce or provide for the public in that time of the year? Because that's a time when most of my row crop farming friends are
They're done.
trying to put their time in planning for the next year, or on vacation trying to catch their breath.
Sure. Well, there's honey, there's eggs, there's cheese and meat products. There are still late season crops, squash, potatoes, root vegetables, a lot of them that can last a good long time. Some of our farmers have greenhouses, and some have hoop houses, so they can extend their season from the beginning and at the end. And so, we have to be a little bit flexible, because if there's a really hard frost and then all their stuff gets killed, then we don't have greens.
But the interesting thing is even though we're urban dwellers, fact of the matter is you've got farm produce that's available year-round.
That's true.
And it can be homegrown, which it's remarkable how much better homegrown produce is than what you get after it's been shipped from Lord knows where into this environment. How does somebody like Kris Koch prepare themselves to be the market manager for a farmer's market in Janesville, Wisconsin?
How much time do you have? I've always been involved with a lot of nonprofits. That's really where my passion lies, is putting my energy towards things that can be helpful. And in this case, it started out as a way to, I'd had to take a little bit of time off from work, and it was a way to get back in the groove. And I thought, oh, this will be easy. It's a task-oriented job. And then it has turned into something completely different. And it's basically like when somebody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I never really knew what that was going to be.
But
and
somehow you landed in this particular role, and you've been here long enough that you're looking around and you're saying, we're thriving, but there's so much more that we can be in time, and we will get there, as they say.
Yes.
As long as the vision is there, and the energy is there.
Yes.
And Kris Koch keeps working as hard at it as she happens to be.
Yeah.
And with that, we're at that stage where, by golly, we've wrapped up our time that's available today. And what it does is it reminds me that we need to invite you back for another visit.
Thank you. I'd love to come.
Kris Koch, she is the market manager for the Janesville Farmers Market. Join them every Saturday morning from 8 until 1 at Town Square in Janesville. That's Festival Street to Water Street, and a little bit up Dodge too, where there's an incredible variety of things to satisfy your palate, your imagination, and a whole lot more. That's this week's edition of Newsmaker. We'll be back with others that are making the news and creating the quality of life we enjoy here in Rock County on the next episode of Newsmakers. Have a great day.